Hello, and we're continuing the video. Today we're going to take a look at Buzzwole in the Great League here. We have a team that I just threw together very fast. I cannot even talk English anymore. As we see here, we have the Stunfisk, we have the Sableye, a very common core, and then we have our Buzzwole in the back. It's basically the team that I already used before, but with Venusaur in the back, and I thought, maybe Venusaur is like the fighting type answer. Now I have another fighting type answer, while my opponent makes an amazing swap there onto their Pelipper. Like, I haven't seen a Pelipper for ages, so very fair play to my opponent here for bringing this. But yeah, in general, I don't think this team is the best team that you can run. I think what would make this team way better would be Registeel in the lead, to be honest. That Registeel going to be able to do more stuff against something like a Azumarill. That's like the main issue. If you can see in my team, I have a fighting type in the back, I have a dark type in the back, and I have my Magifisk in the lead, which means Azumarill can be kinda a problem here as we lose the first game, but this is one of the only games we lost. Like, we actually had a pretty decent run, and I still misplayed a lot of games as well. I didn't play all of them perfectly, but yeah, it's just like trying to deal with the new Pokemon is sometimes a little bit tricky, as we can go for a double Rock Slide here against this Sableye, getting him already low. We can farm down now. As you see, I played it also those battles while I'm being outside and playing the community day. I see a lot of comments, how do you collect those items while playing Go Battle League, as just having like one of the Go Plus, whatever you play with this, connected, and you can still play at the background while playing Go Battle League. Wouldn't really recommend it to you if you try to gain some elo though, because it can be a little bit laggy then, but it is fine for me, as I don't really care about elo at this point of the time at the season. As we see a Deoxys coming in, we can go for some lunge damage here, hopefully, with our Buzzwole here. And this is a cool thing in general about Buzzwole, like the lunge helps it so much. It just makes it so much better, as we can actually no-shield the Thunderbolt. Could have been a Psychic Boost, which would have been super effective, but we don't really care about the damage here anyway. We just want to get this thing a little bit lower. We can drop the defenses, and as you can see here, we can farm down the Deoxys defense, getting a lot of energy for the Beedrill, which is still in the back, which will be able to win us the game, as we have a 100 energy here anyway. We still have a shield, they have a shield, but I think they even let this move go through. Yep, as they knew it was over already. Next opponent, we're going to see Altaria. By the way, all the battles that you see here were also all the battles that I played. I only played 2 sets with it, and all the battles are in here. So, we see here Altaria lead, okay. Toxic Frog Safe Swap, also okay. Usually people have Medicham in the back, and I was kind of fearing it here, to be honest, because also one issue for this team kinda can be Medicham. While it seems a little bit neutral against the Buzzwole, still the Psychic would just one-shot this thing. I think you might be able to win it in like 2 shields or whatever, but even then I don't think so. So, like, Medicham beats your lead and also your Pokemon in the back, so maybe it's also not the ideal scenario here, but we see actually a Stunfisk coming in here, and the Stunfisk is definitely not appreciating this Buzzwole. Why are you going for the Earthquake? I'm not sure, to be honest. But we can go for one lunge, and we can debuff the opponent. We can also get the shield here. I'm gonna shield as well, and I can farm this thing all the way down, I think. Yep, as we can now see my opponent forfeiting here. It's always the best thing that I can see, as we see the next opponent. We see Stunfisk against Trevenant. Trevenant is also a little bit more tricky with this team than with others, so maybe, like, yeah, maybe there's some other alternatives. Let me know in the comment section what you would run with Buzzwole if you were me, because we actually encountered so many fairy types in the back, by the way. Like, Charm seems to be such in a hype right now. Maybe like Double Steel backline is very good right now, but it doesn't help them if they run Charm and they just lose to a Sableye. That's kinda hilarious. It's definitely not a good Ninetales, but sometimes a little bit tricky to get good Ninetales IVs. I'm also I have like a 6, 15, 14 or something. I kinda want to have one with 0 attack for like maybe competitive play, because Ninetales is basically the best Charm user for also those tournaments. So yeah, here we can shield one Shadow Ball. I want to say Earthquake. So one Shadow Ball, as we see an Azumarill coming in. And this is a little bit tricky. we can see here that we can go for an Earthquake, we can definitely do some nice damage here, and we can perfectly catch the move on the Buzzwole, but of course Buzzwole doesn't resist any of the moves, it's just an Ice Beam, which I guess is fine, but it's also kinda tricky as we can now go for one Lunge here. There's a Lunge going to do next to no damage, and the problem with this move here actually was, now we don't go down for more than Ice Beam. They didn't go for the Play Rough, which I expected them to go for, so yeah, that wasn't maybe the best scenario for us in general here, but it's fine. They go for one Seed Bomb here and we just go down. You cannot win them all, I guess, but I guess it is fine. We see the next opponent, we see a Medicham against us here. We can swap immediately into our Sableye while we get greeted by a Nidoqueen. This is basically a pretty decent matchup for us, as this one will do some pretty normal damage, I guess. They go for the Poison Fang bait, didn't work against us. We can just go ahead and try to do some more damage as they go for another bait here. They got me this time around, it was just a little bit too safe for me to shield here and go for 2 moves. It's just definitely way more worth it than getting surprised by an Earth Power. This is definitely a Poison Fang. They didn't have enough energy for an Earth Power, as we can farm them all the way down now. We're going to see the Medicham coming back in. The Medicham definitely doesn't really want to get damaged by this foul play here. As we see a Ninetales coming in, and this looks kinda like a game over, to be honest. Ninetales is also a core breaker for my lead and for the Buzzwole in the back, so maybe there's definitely a better option for Buzzwole. I'm still not sure which one it is. Like, it looked so good on paper, to be honest, but I'm not sure what is better for this kind of scenario. Some kind of rock type, maybe. Also, Reggie Rock for Great League could be a thing, but like this, we're going to go down here. They're going to go for one Psychic here, and the Psychic will be enough to KO us, as we see now. And we can now go into the next match, as we see the Stunfisk against Deoxys Defense. And this time around, I think I'll swap out immediately. The thing with Stunfisk against Deoxys Defense is that it's actually a pretty okay matchup for the Stunfisk, but if you think about it, my entire team is kinda okay against the Deoxys defense, but I kinda want to have this Stunfisk against the Deoxys when the Deoxys has a lot of energy, because the energy is completely wasted against the Stunfisk, so having it in a later matchup might help me out a little bit, as we get out the opponent's Flying type, which is very good for my Buzzwole, and we can even still go for some moves against this Swampert here, which is going to also do a lot of damage to them, and we are looking pretty decent, to be honest, as they still have to throw a charge move here. Of course, they will never be able to farm me down in time, and we can go into a Buzzwole. Buzzwole going to be able to completely knock it down. By the way, you see my Vs as well with the Buzzwole. Like, I didn't talk about this yet, but here, by the way, the energy is completely wasted. It doesn't help them whatever they throw here, and they actually throw the Rock Slide. It's totally fine, double resisted. But my Buzzwole IVs are, of course, traded now. I traded immediately when I got one, and yeah, it was like a one hard friendship trade, so like could have been a really good one, like with a one attack and whatever. But it kind of went unlucky, but also the one who I traded with also ran kind of unlucky, so actually the one that I got from the quest was a 98% Buzzwole. Maybe I should have kept it for Master League, I'm not sure. I'm still going to try to do some raids, as we are still in the current Go Fast day for me. And we're still doing a video here right now, as we see an Obstagoon against us. Obstagoon, fine for us, I guess, maybe not. It's not really that good. It's actually a core breaker for our lead and our Safe Swap, but our Buzzwole would be very good against it. And I swap now into my Sableye, because the thing is here that after an Earthquake, maybe the foul play is enough. We have to see. Is it enough? We will see now. It is not enough, and I actually make a mistake here, because I actually could have avoided this final move here if I played it better and threw on the CMP, because I would have got the fast move through, and like I would have won the CMP tie against them. And I would have had way more health now, which would have made this game way easier. So I guess I also kind of misplayed it here. In general, if I want to participate in those tournaments later on again, I still definitely have to try to play a bit more meta, try a little bit harder, as we see a Trevenant coming in here. And this game is basically over, because they catch perfectly our move there. Very nice from them. We can go for the lunge here. If they want to shield, they can shield. I don't really care, but this game is basically over. They go for the charge move here, must be a Shadow Ball, and we go down. Never mind, it's a Seed Bomb. But doesn't really matter anyway, as we can go for, and we cannot go for another lunge here. It's fine, we can let the move go through. It's another Seed Bomb. We survive with 1 HP in a dream. And this is going to be it for this game, as we can just completely annihilate this thing with a lunge. We see the Nidoqueen coming back in, they go for a move. It's a Poison Fang, so they bait us here. But who wins the race? We win the race and we win the game. Very weird scenario there in general against the Trevenant trying to go for the baits against our Buzzwole for whatever reason, like didn't work out for them at least. As we see a Swampert in the lead. Horrible lead for us, of course, but that's very nice to see. Seeing a Skarmory coming in always warms my heart if I have a Pokemon weak to flying types in the back, especially double weak to flying types. It's always amazing, and it makes it so much better for our Buzzwole later on, as we can even go and get some shields or KO this Skarmory before they can even do anything with our Sableye here. We can actually KO this thing. They go into their Swampert. Doesn't matter for them. We can still go for a charge move here. They would be able to farm us down most likely, but they think, no, they actually can. That's kind of annoying. But we can go into our Buzzwole. We're just going to shield up everything here. The Hydro Cannon comes through, and we can even shield the next one. And we would still survive one, but just barely, I think. Let's see, they go for a charge move here. I think we still survive it. We're not that squishy. We're a little bit squishy, but not that squishy. And we see a Stunfisk coming in perfect for us. We're going to swap out now, because now I have 2 moves stored. One Earthquake doesn't KO me here. I can go for my Earthquake, and no matter what happens here, I won the game already. There's nothing that they can do. Even if they swap into a Swampert afterwards and catch the superpower, debuffed superpower definitely would still be enough to KO Stunfisk here from this range, as we go for the first superpower and bye-bye Stunfisk, and we can go for the next one, and we can also KO the Swampert here. Good game to the opponent. Nothing that they can do here anymore, as they even, I think, closed the app at this point of time and rage quit it because I didn't want to see my Buzzwole anymore. Good game there. We see the next opponent having a Victorybell in the lead, and this is the match that bothered me the most because I really played this horrible. We go for the charge move here, totally fine. Okay, CMP type, it's okay. It's okay, we can go for one Rock Slide here. That definitely should be enough to put him maybe into range for farm down. Let's see, let's see. I should have swapped out here already in my opinion, but I'm going to go for one more Rock Slide here. Maybe they're going to let this move go through. They're going to let this move go through, and we see a Charmeleon in the lead, in the back there. We have to hit this move, otherwise it's already game over. But they're going to shield. I go into my Buzzwole, they go into their Bastion for whatever reason. Now I could farm up to 2 superpowers and I should be totally fine. I can shield this move up, and now I only have to swap into Sableye and farm this thing down. Guess what I'm not going to do? Swap into Sableye and farm this thing down. Now one charm going to be enough for me. And yeah, even if I went for the lunge here, I think I would have been able to win this game. But like this, I'm not. Because I got too low from the Smackdown, from the Bastion, and I could have went way, like, of course, I would have already lost this game way earlier if my opponent didn't swap out there, but my opponent basically gave me the easiest win con and I just didn't take it for whatever reason. I knew it even when I played it that I needed to swap out, but I was too scared that the Bastion might be able to KO my Sableye for whatever reason. Don't know, I literally don't know. We see the next opponent here having the mirror. I hate the mirror, so I swap out. It's an Earthquake, I hate this as well. But maybe Buzzwole can do some nice stuff against the backline, as we're gonna let this move go through. It wouldn't have helped me if I shield this one, because I would have still needed to get shield another one before I get to my next move, and like, yeah, it wouldn't have helped me. We can see them going for a charge move here. We're going to shield the Rock Slide coming in. We can go and trail farm them all the way down. They already have a move again. We can take this one. Let's see what they have in the back. We can see that they're going to go into the Venusaur, which kind of tells me maybe there's a Sableye in the back. Very common team. We can go for another lunge here. We can completely destroy this thing with our lunges, and we can farm it down before it can get to another move, which is amazing. And we see a Swampert coming in. This is very bad for us, but if they're going to shield this, I can swap out into my Stunfisk gear, and I'm going to do this, as we can go for one Earthquake now, and this Earthquake going to be amazing to play for us, because this thing going to go down most likely even from this. We will see. The Hydro Cannon gets shielded, and we see the Earthquake connecting, and this should be a good game. Hopefully it is, and we win the game here pretty easily. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video, have a great rest of your day, and I hope you have a good Go Fest.